What if I told you that human aging might be reversible? That cholesterol, the very thing they told you was bad, could actually be anabolic? That the key to fat loss isn't just cutting calories, but stopping a chemical process happening in your gut? Today, we're breaking down some of the most mind-blowing metabolic insights from Generative Energy Podcast number 11, a conversation between Roddy and Georgi Dinkov, where they dive deep into Dr. Ray Peat's work. If you've followed Peat's research, you know he flipped the script on mainstream health, metabolism, and hormones. But if this is your first time hearing about him, buckle up, because what we're about to unpack could change the way you see human biology forever. From progesterone's role in reversing aging, to why cholesterol is nature's real anabolic steroid, to how aspirin might be better than Viagra, this episode is stacked. Let's break it all down. Aging has always been framed as an inevitable process, something we just have to accept. But what if it's not? What if we've been aging wrong? A groundbreaking study showed that a combination of progesterone and DHEA, two natural hormones, might actually reverse biological aging. Not slow it, reverse it. Here's the deal. As we age, the thymus gland, which is responsible for our immune system, shrinks. That's why older people get sick more often. But when researchers gave subjects a mix of DHEA, progesterone, and a few other compounds, something crazy happened. Their thymus regrew. They literally became biologically younger. Now, here's the part the mainstream ignores. Growth hormone, which is often hyped for anti-aging, was also used in the study. But it turns out it's not the hero they claim it is. Growth hormone actually accelerates aging by raising cortisol and insulin resistance, two things you don't want if you're trying to stay young. Meanwhile, progesterone and DHEA protect against stress and inflammation, making them the real anti-aging powerhouses. This is huge. If we can manipulate these hormones properly, we could completely rethink how we approach aging. But of course, Big Pharma isn't exactly rushing to tell you that. Next up, let's talk about testosterone. If you go to a doctor today with low testosterone, they'll try to give you testosterone injections or expensive synthetic steroids. But guess what? That's not the best way to do it. They've told us for years that oral testosterone doesn't work, that it gets destroyed in the liver before it can do anything. Total nonsense. Studies have shown that free testosterone, when taken orally, is actually just as effective, if not more effective than injections. And here's the kicker. It's also safer. Why? Because the injectable versions and synthetic anabolic steroids can cause liver toxicity, cholesterol issues, and even heart problems. But natural testosterone, when taken properly, doesn't have those effects. So why isn't this common knowledge? Simple. Money. Pharmaceutical companies make billions selling you fancy, patented testosterone products, while a natural, cheap alternative gets buried. If testosterone replacement is something you're considering, do your research. And don't just take what your doctor says at face value. You've heard it your whole life. Cholesterol is bad, fat is bad. But let me hit you with some reality. Cholesterol and saturated fat are actually anabolic, meaning they help build muscle, boost hormones, and keep your body functioning at peak performance. In one study, older adults who ate more cholesterol had more muscle mass and strength than those who avoided it. And legendary bodybuilders, before steroids became a thing, were eating dozens of eggs per day because they knew something we forgot. Cholesterol fuels testosterone production. Now, compare that to PUFA, polyunsaturated fats, which are in vegetable oils and processed foods. PUFA is basically chemical castration in food form. Studies have shown that PUFA suppresses testosterone, increases estrogen, and contributes to everything from infertility to metabolic disorders. If you want optimal hormone levels, ditch the seed oils, embrace saturated fat, and stop fearing cholesterol. Let's talk about something that's probably going to blow some minds. There's a study showing that aspirin is just as effective as Viagra for erectile dysfunction, without the nasty side effects. Viagra works by increasing nitric oxide, but there's a problem with that. Nitric oxide might help blood flow temporarily, but over time, it damages mitochondria and promotes aging. Aspirin, on the other hand, works by reducing inflammation and improving metabolism, which leads to better blood flow naturally. And here's the best part. Aspirin is cheap. No prescriptions, no shady side effects, just something that's been hiding in plain sight this entire time. So if you've been dealing with low energy, poor circulation, or even ED, maybe it's time to reconsider what you've been told about aspirin. We've been lied to about fat loss for decades. The real enemy? Serotonin. I know. Serotonin is supposed to be the happy hormone, right? Nope. 90% of your serotonin is made in the gut, and when it's too high, it slows metabolism, increases fat storage, and causes insulin resistance. Here's the proof. Studies show that when animals are given drugs that block serotonin, they become lean, insulin sensitive, and resistant to obesity, even if they eat junk food. And guess what else blocks serotonin? Aspirin, niacinamide, progesterone. Meanwhile, modern diets filled with fiber, grains, and plant-based foods boost serotonin production, which could explain why so many people struggle with weight loss no matter how much they exercise. If you want to lose fat and increase energy, focus on reducing serotonin and boosting metabolism instead of just slashing calories. Wrapping up, the takeaways you can't ignore. Let's recap. Aging might be reversible, and progesterone plus DHEA could be the key. Oral testosterone works. Don't believe the pharmaceutical hype. Cholesterol is anabolic. PUFA is a slow death sentence for your hormones. Aspirin is better than Viagra, without the side effects. Serotonin is not your friend when it comes to metabolism and fat loss. If you enjoyed this, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Let's get this information out there. This is Marco Lane, and you've been listening to Exploring the Roots of Energy. Until next time, stay sharp, stay strong, and question everything.